They're just stupid stickers. My wife said after she sold my vintage baseball cards for $5,000 only. So I did this and now she is begging. All right, Reddit. What would you have done if your wife opened her safe, sells a 1952 Topps Mantile, a Gaudi Ruth, a Trout Update PSA 10, the whole lineup, for $5,000 and a new profile? Am I nuts for filing for divorce? Yes. $5,000 total, not each, for everything she grabbed. I 30, male, have a good job, a normal house, and an abnormal hobby. I collect vintage baseball cards. It started when I was 9 and my grandpa handed me a sun-faded binder with a few Topps Commons and a 1989 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. rookie that looked like it had been through a dryer. That binder became a vault. My vault became a spreadsheet. My spreadsheet turned into a database with photos, serial numbers, PSA grades, insurance entries, payment receipts, and market comps. I track auctions the way other men track fantasy football. There's a humidity meter in my closet, and desiccant packs that I change on the first Saturday of every month. I catalog down to the sleeve brand. Mock me if you want. My 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle in a PSA 2 has never judged me. Before someone chirps, no, it wasn't all Mantle, Ruth, Cobb, and Angels singing. I've got cardboard from every decade. A couple T206s with sweetbacks, a 1933 Goody Babe Ruth in low grade that still looks like it could suplex your mortgage, a 1954 Topps Hank Aaron rookie, a 1968 Topps Nolan Ryan rookie, a 1975 Topps George Brett, that Griffey Upper Deck in a PSA 10 I hunted for years, and a 2011 Topps Update Mike Trout PSA 10 I bought before prices went feral. I slab, I sleeve, I log, I insure. It's not hoarding. It's asset management wrapped in childhood joy. Enter my wife, Sabrina. She's 28 and convinced she's the main character while the rest of us are extras who should clap on cue. She is very pretty, very loud about being pretty, and very convinced pretty should be upgraded the way you upgrade a phone. She met me when I was selling a duplicate 1957 Topps Brooks Robinson rookie. She thought it was cute that I could talk for 10 minutes about centering. It stopped being cute around minute 11 of our marriage. Sabrina's take on my collection was always the same. Childish. She'd roll her eyes when I checked auction results. She'd groan if I opened my spreadsheet. She called the sealed storage box the baby coffin. Every time I pulled a slab to update photos, I got the same greatest hits. Her. You seriously think those bent pieces of cardboard matter? Me. They're laminated and worth more than your car. Her. Yeah? Can you drive your little Mickey Mantle to the grocery store? Me. Only if I duct tape him to the hood. Her laugh wasn't a laugh. It was how you laugh when the waiter pretends the dessert is complimentary and then slides a bill across the table that says $19 for a scoop of ice. We married in a courthouse, did a small backyard thing after, and I kept my collection as separate property. Pre-marriage, separate account, clear documentation. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm also not stupid. I had a Ring camera pointed at the bedroom door where the safe sat, because cardboard isn't just cardboard anymore. Cardboard is an asset class with enemies. The first month of marriage was honeymoon energy mixed with me quietly adjusting the thermostat because she thought leaving windows open in August was good for the plants. The second month came with a new obsession, her nose. She decided her nose was ruining her face. Nobody else had noticed her face was under enemy occupation, but according to her, it was. She scrolled rhinoplasty accounts like they were stock tickers. She had before and after albums and a surgeon shortlist. She started treating her reflection like a hostile witness. Sabrina, if you loved me, you'd support my dream. Me, I love you. Your face is great. Sabrina, so you don't support my dream, it's for us. Translates to, I'll look cute while you rebuild your portfolio. Me, your dream is a smaller nose? Sabrina, oh, you think I'm shallow. Cool. Me, I think surgeons charge rent and utilities. She didn't work. She was between options. I covered rent, groceries, the bill for the half-dozen subscription boxes that mysteriously regenerate each month, and the gym she didn't go to because the lighting is weird. I said we could talk about surgery later, meaning never. Time is a great negotiator. People cool off. Priorities shift. Reality pays a visit and says hi. She doubled down. She printed quotes. She circled numbers in pink highlighter, like a high school coach circling where a missed block cost the game. She kept repeating for us like a cult mantra. I kept repeating later, like someone trying to talk down a cat from a curtain rod. 2 days later, I came home early from work because a meeting got canceled. Her car's in the driveway, music inside, laughter. I walk in, and there's Sabrina plus 3 of her friends on my couch like a panel show. Cups on the coffee table. One of them's got my binder open. Another is holding a PSA slab raw in her hand, like it's a drink coaster. Sabrina's doing a tour. These are his little pictures, she says, waving a 1968 Nolan Ryan rookie at ring light speed. He treats them like NICU babies. Look, it's even laminated so it doesn't cry. Friend 1 snorts. How much is that one? $2. Friend 2. It's giving Pokemon. Friend 3 has my Griffey UD, not the 10, the beater I keep for nostalgia, and taps the case with her nail. This one's cute. Sabrina leans back like she's hosting. He catalogs them, like spreadsheets, insurance. He has a humidity thing in the closet. If a window's open, he acts like the house will melt. Full man-child. I'm basically married to a museum gift shop. I don't go nuclear. I do the dad thing where you inhale through the nose and count to 4. Can you not touch them? I say. Please. Sabrina rolls her eyes. Baby's home. Friend 1 sets the slab down on a wet ring from a cup. I move faster than I've moved since my last school fire drill and grab it with a napkin. Please, I repeat, trying to sound regular. Sabrina stands, performs exasperation. Relax. No one's licking your cartoons. They're not cartoons, I say. They're graded. They're mine. She fake whispers to her friends. He talks to them. I look at the coffee table. I look at my binder. I look at the safe, door closed, code untouched. Then I look at the 3 people who think value is just whatever gets likes. I decide I'm done gambling on their respect. Everyone out, I say. I need the room. Sabrina laughs like I told a joke with no punchline. They're my guests. And those are my cards, I say. You can keep the guests or the marriage. Pick one for the next hour. Her friends stand up in that slow, offended way where they're waiting for me to apologize for existing. Sabrina waves them off. Fine, go. He needs to swaddle the cardboard. They leave. Sabrina crosses her arms. You're like a baby, you know that? Wah, my pictures. Grow up. Grown-ups don't touch other people's stuff, I say. Grown-ups don't freak out over stickers, she fires back, then stomps to the bedroom like she's going to file a complaint with HR. I lock the door. I pull everything. The heavy hitters come out first. Mantle PSA 2, Goody Ruth low grade but mean. Trout update 10, Griffey 10, the Ryan, the Aaron, the Brett. I recheck serials, snap quick photos, and update the spreadsheet. Then I go full prepper. I load the slabs into 2 fire-rated document pouches, then into a Pelican case with pick and pluck foam and fresh silica. I tape a list inside the lid with only the last 4 of each certificate. I throw the case into an old cardboard box labeled Winter Boots with a marker. Then I pull the intake grill off the hallway HVAC return, magnetic screws. I slide the boot box into the cavity on a shelf I made from a scrap of MDF, 2 L brackets, and spite. I reattach the grill and hit the edges with a dusting brush so it looks untouched. I move a runner rug over it, set a plant stand on the corner. If you don't know it's there, you don't know it's there. For good measure, I build a decoy. I put junk wax, some 90s commons, and a dollar bin Jeter into a cheap fire bag and stash that in the closet safe. I redid the safe. New code, fresh desiccant, impact sensors on the door, and a decoy bag that looks expensive from 5 feet away. If you're going to be obsessive, be efficiently obsessive. I drop the rest of the mid-tier slabs into a locked toolbox in the garage with a false bottom. Only the common binder stays on the shelf, because it's a security blanket, and I'm not totally dead inside. Sabrina knocks once without waiting, and walks in anyway. Done burping your toys? Done fixing your mess, I say. She looks at the closed safe, then at me. Ask them if they know what consent means when it applies to property, I say. You don't open safes you didn't buy. She smirks like she just passed a quiz. See? You know it's ridiculous. If they mattered, you'd keep them where you could see them. They matter, I say. That's why I moved them. She gives me the look toddlers give broccoli. Whatever. When you're done playing hide and seek, we're going to dinner with my parents. Cool, I say. And since we're doing grown-up talk, boundaries are on the menu. She scoffs and walks out. Door slam for punctuation. I sit on the bed for a minute and listen to the HVAC kick on. The grill doesn't rattle. The plant stand doesn't budge. The ring cams blink like little silent witnesses. I think I've outsmarted chaos. I thought I had time. I didn't. 3 days later, she announces she's super sick. Whisper voice, dramatic cough, hoodie up like a quarterback hiding plays. Says she doesn't want to get me sick and needs to crash at Tara's for like a week to recover. I don't say no. I'm not a warden. I tell her to take the humidifier and the good tissues. She takes an overnight bag, the humidifier, and, interestingly, my garage clicker, so she doesn't have to text me when she swings by for stuff. I top off the medicine drawer, leave soup in the fridge, and go to work like a normal adult. The HVAC grill over my secret stash doesn't rattle. I even shoot her a feel better text and get back a selfie from Tara's couch with a blanket, a forehead thermometer, and a caption about rest and healing. The timestamp sits right in the middle of a workday. Convenient. That week is quiet. Too quiet. One afternoon, my doorbell cam gets motion while I'm in a meeting. I assume it's a package. I don't check it because, silly me, I still believe in the concept of trust. Later, I notice the spare key hook in the laundry room is empty. I chalk it up to her grabbing it on the way out. I make a mental note to ask. I don't ask. I go to the gym, eat leftovers, and pretend the universe isn't lining up dominoes with my name on them. Then came my birthday. I don't throw parties. I'm not big on group decisions about where to sit. But Sabrina insisted on having a little thing at our place. Her parents came, her sister came, my parents came, and the peanut gallery was dressed and ready. Her mom is the type who says, "We're middle class," while wearing a watch the size of a smoke detector. My dad can do a colonoscopy with a stare. Everyone settled in and immediately took a moral inventory of my furniture. She showed up with a bandage across her nose and called it sinus stuff. Everyone pretended it was normal. We ate store-bought cake and pretended it wasn't store-bought. Then she handed me a gift bag. Inside was a white ceramic mug printed with "World's Okayest Husband." I smiled. I'm a simple man. I'll drink coffee out of a boot if you ask me nicely. Okay, Sabrina said, clapping her hands like a kindergarten teacher about to move to coloring time. Real present. She took a long breath like a YouTuber before a sponsored segment. Surprise, I got a nose job. For you. The room did that thing where it gets louder and quieter at the same time. Her sister squealed. Her mom clapped. My mom's face went into that polite, neutral mask people wear at weddings when the DJ plays something deeply unholy. For me? I said. So I can be the best version of me for us, she said, beaming and touching her nose like Vanna White. I didn't react. I calculated. Numbers first, then feelings. How did you pay for it? She lit up like she had just outsmarted taxes. I sold those baseball cards. Which ones? I asked, already tasting metal. All of them, she said. The whole box. You should be thanking me. I thought they were like, I don't know, worth $200 max. So $5,000 is amazing. I don't remember standing. I remember the room tilting. I remember every face studying me like I was a wildlife documentary, and they were waiting to see if the giraffe figures out the fence is electric. You sold my retirement plan, I said, for a nose. I did it for us, she said, palm on her chest like she just recited the pledge. Did us ask for this? Her dad cleared his throat. Son, they were just cards. I didn't luck into those slabs. The mantle came from a VFW hall show, cash in an envelope and a loop under cafeteria lights. Ruth was a tax refund plus 2 months of flipping mid-tiers. Trout Update was a November buy when everyone else was staring at football. Griffey 10 happened after 8 returns and one seller who packed it like a sandwich. None of that fits in a $5,000 envelope. I didn't stop. And what they meant. Mantle was a decade of grind and patience. Ruth was my first real grail. Proof I plan and execute. Trout was the homework win I bought before the spike. Griffey was my grandpa's binder, grown up and authenticated. That wasn't paper. That was time, discipline, and my retirement slice you traded for a bandage. They're pictures, her mom said, gesturing like she'd explained physics. Like stickers. They're authenticated assets, I said, with serial numbers, in a safe that you had to unlock. Sabrina looked proud. I found the code. You rifled my desk, I said. So what? She said. We're married. You don't get a key to my spine because we signed a license, I said. You crossed a line. Her sister snorted. He's quoting crime shows. Sabrina folded her arms. You're seriously choosing cards over your wife? My dad's jaw twitched. Where did you sell them? He asked, sounding calm enough to freak out a statue. Marketplace, she said. Guy in a hat. Cash. He was so excited. You're welcome. Name. She shrugged. Logan or Lucas? He drove a gray SUV. He gave me $5,000 in cash. Can you believe it? I almost said no because it felt like too much. I looked at the mug that said World's Okayest Husband. Then I looked at the woman who just pawned my life for the price of a used lawnmower. We're done, I said. I want a divorce. Silence hit like dead air after a bad call. Her dad blinked, my mom tightened her jaw, and the mug's handle snapped off in my hand without me noticing somehow. You'd think I had announced I was joining a private island cult. The chorus started immediately. Her mom. You'd ruin a marriage over cardboard? Her dad. Be a man. My mom. Let's sit down. My dad. We're not sitting. Sabrina. You're crazy. Me. Everyone get out. Her sister. This is abuse. He's abusing you. Me. Door. Now. Sabrina's lower lip trembled like she was auditioning for a daytime drama. You'll come crawling back, she said. You need me. I need a lawyer, I said. And the police. You're not calling the police, she spat. On your wife? On whoever stole my property, I said. You can't steal from your husband, she said. You can when it's mine and you have to defeat a keypad to take it, I said. That's not sharing. That's you helping yourself. Her mom waved a manicured hand like she could dismiss the law off the table. It's community property. It's not, I said. Community vibe, though, her sister said. I held up a hand like I was directing traffic. We're done here. They left in a slow parade of offended sighs. My parents stayed just long enough for my mom to put a hand on my arm and my dad to say 4 words, "Get the camera footage." I shut the safe, documented the shelves, and did a quick audit of what hadn't walked. Exported the footage to a thumb drive, named the files by timestamp, and saved duplicates to cloud and external. Printed cert lists for each slab. Nothing dramatic, just receipts stacked for whoever asked next. Footage showed 13:14 she enters with an empty tote, 13:22 the safe opens on the 3rd try, 13:37 the tote zips, 13:41 exit, 14:38 re-entry with a smoothie, and the kind of smile people wear when the receipt is someone else's. I called the police. Not because I thought sirens would fly and a SWAT team would rappel into a card shop somewhere, but because a report is a report. The officer was polite as he took my statement, looked at my spreadsheet, looked at my insurance, looked at the video, and sighed like a man who's seen everything and would like to see something else. Separate property? He asked. Yes, I said. All acquired pre-marriage. Insured in my name. Paid from an account that's mine. He nodded, scribbled, and told me to send him the footage and the spreadsheet. Then I called a lawyer. When he picked up and said his name, I practically heard theme music. I'm going to make them an offer they can't refuse. He didn't say, but spiritually he did. We filed for divorce the next morning. No theatrics, no swearing, just paper and a signature. We also filed for a civil temporary restraining order to keep her from selling anything else and a motion to freeze her access to my accounts. We included the police report and the camera footage and the spreadsheet. We also filed a civil theft claim and a replevin action so we could claw back anything recoverable from the buyer, who I would soon learn was indeed Logan, a reseller with a pop-up shop out of his garage and the ethics of a raccoon. Timeline was boring, which is how you win. Police report filed the same day. Replevin filed next morning. TRO granted by lunch. Process server hit the reseller at 4:12 p.m., and my inbox lit with received before dinner. Paper beats vibes. Meanwhile, Sabrina texted me like a telemarketer with a broken script. Sabrina, did you really file? Me, yes. Sabrina, I'm in shock. This is so immature. Me, you opened my safe. She pivoted to vibes, not facts. Then she sent a selfie captioned healing energy from a salon. Block Her PR campaign lasted 48 hours and 4 boomer Facebook posts before mutual friends started linking the public docket. The outreach dried up fast when screenshots entered the chat. 2 days after filing, my lawyer served Logan with the replevin order. He pretended like he didn't know what those words meant, then realized paper beats vibes and started cooperating like a man who did not want to find out what a court date with the word theft attached feels like. We got back 15 slabs. 15. Out of more than 100. He'd flipped the big ones in under 24 hours the way a crooked dealer flips a fake watch. Quick, cash, no receipts, pray the light is dim. We recovered the 1968 Nolan Ryan RC, the 1975 Brett, some 80s rookies, and a handful of commons he clearly didn't recognize had value. I split storage after that. Heavy hitters in a bank box, mid-tiers in a bolted safe, show stock in a lockable Pelican. Codes rotate quarterly, and the decoy safe carries junk wax with a dead AirTag glued under the tray, so my phone screams if thieves get nostalgic. He swore the guy who took the mantle flew in, paid in cash, and was a regular. He gave us a first name and an email that bounced. He handed over the $5,000 left from Sabrina's deal like he was returning a library book after a fire. I wanted to break something. I drank water. I stared at a wall. I cataloged what we had left and what we'd never see again. Claims adjusters speak 3 dialects: receipts, timestamps, and comps. I dumped a folder with cert photos, pop report screenshots, and sale histories. He pointed at the policy cap and the deductible like road signs. Translation: document hard or eat the shortfall. On day 5, Sabrina posted a selfie with a bandage across her nose and the caption, "Self-love isn't selfish." Comments were off. She disabled DMS. She sent me a picture of the bill like it was a baby ultrasound. We had the first hearing 2 weeks later. Sabrina came in with a spray tan and sunglasses, like she was hiding from the paparazzi. Both families came dressed like a country club had a think tank. My lawyer was a quiet shark. Her lawyer looked like a QR code for, I invoice by the minute. I won't bore you with the procedure. We established the basic points. Separate property acquired pre-marriage, documented, insured, unauthorized access, sale without consent, video evidence, buyer identified, partial recovery, damage. Her lawyer tried a swing. Marital funds had maintained the collection, thus restoring access. The judge looked at the evidence and didn't see the word maintained anywhere except in receipts for my own separate account purchases. Her lawyer pivoted to, but feelings. The judge blinked. Feelings didn't move the docket. Judge said the statute lets numbers do the talking. My lawyer didn't smile. He just sharpened his pencil. We got a preliminary judgment against Sabrina for the fair market value of the unrecovered items, times 3 under the statute, with credit for any insurance payout, plus fees. We got a separate order for Logan to turn over any remaining items and account for any proceeds. Logan cooperated like a man who could smell his margins dropping. He named 3 buyers he'd moved the biggest items to. One was out of state. One was a traveling show dealer. One was, hilariously, the surgeon's receptionist's boyfriend. That guy panicked and brought back 2 slabs wrapped in a t-shirt. Not the mantle, not the Ruth, a Trout Bowman chrome refractor, and a 1969 Reggie Jackson rookie. I took them like a father, reclaiming 2 sons from a hostage exchange. Sabrina's face during all of this had 2 modes, confused and offended. She kept whispering to her mom like stage direction would save her. The judge didn't care. The judge cared about evidence. You can't handle the truth wasn't spoken, but it was implied. First garnishment hit 2 Fridays later. My lawyer forwarded the notice with a 1-line email. As ordered, no victory lap, just math doing laps around denial. She tried playing payroll musical chairs. The order followed. Funny thing about arithmetic, it doesn't lose your new address. Back home, I did what grown men do when the world punches them in the gut. I made a list. I cleaned. I organized what was left. I rephotographed every slab. I updated my spreadsheet. I wrote a letter to myself about rules. Never keep the whole collection at home. Safe deposit box for the heavy hitters. Rotate what's on site. Change codes quarterly. Never date someone who thinks your joy is a toy. The divorce moved the way divorces move. Slow, expensive, and full of people telling you to compromise with someone who lit your life on fire. Sabrina tried to negotiate by sending me playlists. She tried, what would your grandpa want? Until I sent back a photo of the empty mantle slot. Message received. She tried to shame me by telling both families I was obsessed with money. She called my cards his little cartoons. She told anyone who would listen that I was choosing paper over love. Here's what you do when everyone around you is a clown. You stop joining the circus. I stopped explaining. I stopped defending. I stopped going to family dinners staged to ambush me. My lawyer handled everything. When she wanted to meet as adults, I told her to calendar it with my counsel. She said I was cold. I said I was tired. There's a fantasy that the day of the final hearing will be like the end of a sports movie. It wasn't. It was paperwork, testimony, a few objections, and a ruling. The judge dissolved the marriage, awarded me my separate property without question, and converted the preliminary judgment into a final one that looked like a down payment on a house. Because that's what it was. Courtroom revenge isn't fireworks. It's line items and interest. I didn't get the mantle back. I didn't get the Ruth back. I didn't get the Griffey back. If you're a collector, you just felt that in your spine. Those aren't items. Those are eras. Those are afternoons. Those are the exact angle of sun the day you made a deal that felt like cheating fate. Gone, replaced by a PDF titled Final Judgment. Both families stayed snobby. Her mom sent me a paragraph-long text about forgiveness, then a link to a sermon, then a photo of Sabrina's final results with the caption, "Isn't she stunning?" My mom brought me lasagna and didn't say anything beyond eat. My dad came over with a drill and installed a reinforcement plate on my bedroom door, even though I didn't need it anymore. Sometimes support looks like hardware. Some of you will ask why I didn't see it coming. Red flags? Sure. The way she dismissed what mattered to me. The way she treated money like a rumor. The way she assumed every boundary came with a trapdoor because her parents always had more. I noticed and I excused myself, because that's what men do when we like someone's face and hope the rest catches up. That's on me. I know someone will ask about criminal charges. The police report went to the DA. Spousal situations are messy. My state isn't big on making felons out of marital idiots unless there's violence or big-ticket fraud with clear malicious intent. The civil route did what I needed it to do. If criminal happens, that's on them. I'm not chasing prison. I'm chasing peace. Instead of pretending lightning won't strike twice, I built a weather map. A month after the divorce, I added a second safe deposit box at a different branch under a separate key set. Upgraded the safe, split storage, changed codes. I put 2 printed inventories in sealed envelopes with signatures across the flaps. One off-site, one in the box. I left a decoy safe with some junk wax and a laminated note inside that says, "Congrats, you played yourself." Petty? Absolutely. Therapeutic? Also, absolutely. I bought a new binder and started a new project. Raw, mid-grade 70s sets. Cheap fun. No one will sell their soul for a 1974 Topps checklist card. I hope. I met a guy at a show who heard my story and shook his head like he'd watched a man drive into the ocean. "I had a wife do that with my coins," he said. "Sold a Morgan dollar my granddad gave me for a Disney ticket. We didn't hug. We didn't cry. We just stood there like 2 dudes looking at a sunset and pretending we didn't notice it." I also got a message from Logan, the reseller, after the case closed. He wanted to let bygones be bygones and offered me first dibs on new stuff. I felt gross even reading it. He ate off my loss and now wants me as a client. I typed a reply, deleted it, then just blocked him. Standing there with my phone, it hit like getting robbed twice. Once when he bought my life for $5 grand. And again when he tried to turn it into a rewards program. Now for the numbers. Between the unrecovered items, the statutory damages and fees, the judgment came out to a number that made my jaw tense. Insurance cut a check that felt like someone paying you back with folded singles. After offsets, Sabrina owes me the equivalent of 2 cars and a small cabin. She's on a payment plan. She tried changing banks. The order rerouted like GPS. Actions have coordinates. Do I miss the mantle? Don't ask dumb questions. That card was a childhood dream I turned into an adult reality. And it's gone because someone who claimed to love me wouldn't respect 3 numbers on a keypad. But here's the other thing. I sleep. My house is quiet. My spreadsheets are updated. My doors lock. My nose looks exactly the same, and I like it that way. I ran into Sabrina at a grocery store last week. She had the new nose and the old attitude. She blocked the aisle with her cart like a traffic cop in a costume. "You happy?" she asked. "I'm good," I said. "You destroyed our marriage over paper," she said, touching her nose like a trophy. "You destroyed our marriage over paper," I said, pointing at the judgment. She rolled her eyes and walked off, bumping the shelf with chips like that proved something. As she turned, I noticed the mug in her cart. White ceramic, black print, world's okayest wife. I didn't laugh. I paid, went home, and filed my receipts. At least now I know the true value of my cards. One nose and a divorce settlement. I logged every return by CertTail, 9134, 68 Ryan, 2271, 75 Brett, 0449, 69 Reggie, 3816 Trout Refractor. Photos on intake, initials on the bag, timestamp on the sheet. If you don't track it, it didn't happen. The insurer paid out to the policy cap minus deductible. Yes, I insured below current run-up values because nobody expects prices to go SpaceX during their honeymoon. That's on me. I adjusted coverage the day after the divorce. Learn from my stupidity. The court's judgment included civil theft treble damages, plus attorney fees, less the insurance offset, payment plan in place, and when she misses, the garnish doesn't knock first. The police report exists. Whether the DA wants to deal with a marital civil theft case that ended with a civil judgment is their headache. I'm not pushing. I got what the law can give me without turning this into a reality show. Both families still think I'm the villain, because it's easier than saying our daughter did a dumb thing. My parents sent a Christmas card with a photo of my dad holding a drill like a family crest. We're doing fine. I moved, upgraded the safe, split storage, changed codes. If you're a collector, stop acting like you're invincible. You're not. Document everything. Store smart. Don't date someone who sneers at your joy. Dating again? Not really. I'm talking to a woman who runs a retro video game booth at the flea market. She asked about my favorite Topps year and didn't call the slabs little pictures. That's not a green flag. That's me remembering how to breathe. This isn't a fairy tale. It's paperwork and patience, and refusing to be the chump in someone else's main character arc. Revenge wasn't a prank. Revenge was the court order with her name on it. Revenge was watching snobby people learn the word garnish without a side of salad. Done. Back to cataloging. Back to normal. Back to what matters. YouTube just dropped this new hype feature. If you're hooked on this story, smash that hype button. It tells YouTube this video deserves to blow up, and it keeps even crazier stories coming your way.